Hello?
Hello?
What are you doing in this room
Oh,
with
yeah.
George? You know George is one of the
Just
biggest
a
pieces
second.
of shit in the whole fucking server,
Yeah,
right?
Hey, did you know that one of your moderators banned me?
Who banned you?
Would you like to hazard a
Okay,
guess?
Destiny, can you hear
Wait.
me?
Yeah, I can kind of hear you, but you're lagging like a motherfucker.
What?
Oh, never mind. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Right there. Hold on,
yeah.
wait, hold on. I'm reading. I'm picking kitchen about some chat drama. How long did he ban you for?
Banned me for an entire day.
Get fucked. Alright, Batman, I'm moving you up. Are you ready, dude? Wait, are you the guy that I'm supposed to be talking to?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, you're in the chair. What the fuck are we even talking about, my dude?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, I'm not a native speaker, so excuse me if I'm not always totally clear on everything.
Oh, you speak French?
Nope, German.
Oh, okay, German. That's pretty close. Alright, go ahead.
Yeah. So you made some statements.
Oh, fuck. Are
that
you the guy that emailed me?
No.
Oh, is this going to be about being proud of your country?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Somebody emailed me about some shit a while ago. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, you made some statements regarding guns and abortion, which I don't think are entirely consistent. Yeah.
Okay.
You just let me look it up. You said that regarding abortion, you said weighing the convenience of one person against the right of life to another person is something where life has always like the preference, like life should always be chosen in that instance, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't see how that is any different with guns. Like the convenience of one person to own a gun and the life of other persons who die because of that.
Well, nobody dies. Nobody dies because
mean?
you own a gun. They die if you shoot them, and that's illegal. If you shoot somebody, then you fuck them up, right?
Yes, okay, but if you would you agree with the statement that if you would lower the amount of guns in the US, that there would be less homicides and less murders and less gun deaths in general?
Yeah, of course.
So can you kind of see my argument? Like,
well, I mean, you could make that same argument about a plethora of things, though. If we were to make cars illegal, for instance, couldn't you make the same
yes,
argument?
but the main difference is that cars are pretty important to the economy as a whole and like to life in general. Like guns are just things you use to put holes in other things. Like they are not useful in any way other than maybe like some application in sport or like they are not really necessary.
Well, I mean, my Constitution would kind of disagree with that, though. I mean, constitutionally, you actually have more of a right to own a gun than you do to have a car, right? I mean, we have a provision in our Constitution that literally says the government can't fuck with your guns, but there's nothing in there about fucking with our, our Honda Civics or anything, or our Volkswagens.
Yeah, but like, would you argue the same standpoint, like coming from an ethical standpoint? Like, it's hard to explain. Like I said, I'm not all that great with my English, but
I mean, like, I kind of, if we're being honest with each other, I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I mean, you have a constitutional guarantee to own a firearm. I guess if Congress wanted to change it, they would have to ban it. I'm okay with more restrictions on who can own them. I think that psych evaluations should be given. I think that a lot of people that have them are fucking retarded. But I also feel the same way about driving. We're a lot more lax in the United States than you are in Germany about a lot of different things that may be hard to realize. Like, I know that in Germany, you guys have to go through a lot of training to get your licenses, at least in normal circumstances, right? You're talking over 1,000 euros in driver training, plus classes and all that, right?
Yeah.
In the United States, in the United States, you just have to show up and maybe take a driving test, and then they give you the license. You don't have to study or take any training. You don't have to have proof of any of that. You just walk in, right? So we're pretty lax on all that shit. And honestly, I think cars are a bigger problem in the United States than guns even, because we have, and not to say that we should ban cars or anything, but yeah, I don't know, it's a really big problem. But yeah, I guess I'm just not comfortable with that idea that, like, since a lot of people die to guns, we need to make them illegal. Firstly, from a pragmatic point of view, I'm not even sure if that would work, because there's already so many fucking guns here. And then secondly, I just don't know if the argument that because some people get killed by them, everybody has to make them illegal, I don't know if that's a good argument. I'm not sure.
Wait, why not?
Well, just because there are so many other things that you can make that argument for, that I'm not sure. Like,
for example?
I mean, any recreational killing thing, right? If you're talking, like, do we also ban, like, bow and arrows? Or maybe, like, I don't know, I guess some BB guns can be lethal, but there's probably a lot less people that die from that shit than normal guns. What about motorcycles? I mean, there's really no good reason to own a motorcycle, I guess, unless you drive through traffic, maybe in a really busy city. But in some cities, you could argue that you don't necessarily need to own a car. And actually, you can argue a lot of benefits if everybody would take, like, the subway in New York City instead of driving and fucking the streets up. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there are other similar things that you can kind of make arguments. Like, does anybody need to buy, like, recreational knives or collect any type of weapon like that? Maybe all of that should be made illegal. Oh yeah, similar arguments for drugs, alcohol for sure, and any other type of drug like that, or tobacco and whatnot.
Yeah, all of these arguments you just brought forth do have some merit, but I don't think they are entirely comparable with guns. Like bow and arrow, I don't know the statistics, but I would guess not all that many people die because of that. And like, I think you said it yourself, gun violence is a massive problem in the US, and none of the other things you just said, with the exception of alcohol, maybe is such a big problem, I would say. Like maybe the driver license test should be more heavily regulated or whatever, but like the guns of course wouldn't entirely disappear if they would be made illegal, but I don't think that would be the purpose of a ban on guns, for example. The main purpose would just be to reduce them, right? So like reducing guns would save lives, right? I guess the thing is just that every other argument that you brought forth was not as relevant, I guess, at least in my perception. Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by not as relevant?
Well, regarding deaths, like you can't just say that every death that is happening in the traffic system is because of traffic. Like I don't know how many people died in the last years in car crashes, but I would guess it's probably higher than gun deaths. But all of these deaths in transportation probably didn't always happen because of mistakes and that were made in the driver license test, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just maybe because it's the Constitution. Like, you need a better argument than like, well, guns can kill people and some people are irresponsible with them to ban them. Like, let's look at, I guess, like, let's try to draw a comparable thing. I think that alcohol is pretty comparable there. Alcohol causes a lot of bad shit to happen in the United States. Do you think that should be banned?
No, because like you said, it's not really like you can't really do it. Yeah, the people won't accept it. You tried that already.
Well, I mean, but now we're not arguing ethically. We're just arguing pragmatically. I don't think pragmatically we should ban guns either, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe not. Wait. So, what was the argument?
Oh, I'm just saying that, like, so, like, I think that alcohol could be comparable to guns in this scenario, where alcohol is something that you use recreationally, right? But alcohol causes a large number of problems in society with drunk driving, with people getting drunk and killing themselves with drinking too much, people getting drunk and abusing others or abusing alcohol over the long term.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So could you make a similar argument to alcohol being banned then, so similar to guns?
Well, I guess not.
Or rather, can you defend why should alcohol stay legal then?
I guess coming from Germany, here, of course, alcohol is much more accepted than guns. And yeah, something like that in Germany would probably be a lot easier to push through. But yeah, I guess in the United States, that's not the case. Like the... Damn. Okay, so let me put it another way. Alcohol has been used for thousands of years, right? It's always been a part of modern society, or society rather, right?
Sure.
I would say that's not the case with guns, because the guns evolve, right? Like weapons evolve. You had swords and arrows and bows and whatever, but that's not really comparable with an AR-15 or whatever, right?
Sure.
So the evolving guns were probably not meant to be in civilian hands, like even from a founding father's point of view, like.
So
I
even if guns are these weapons of mass destruction that can kill lots of people, alcohol is not intended to do that. Even though alcohol is not intended to do that, about as many people die just in drunk driving related accidents every year as die in firearm related homicides. So it seems like alcohol does a pretty decent job at killing people in similar numbers as firearms so far as homicides go. So I guess I just don't understand how you can be okay with keeping alcohol legal if you want to ban guns just because of the harm that some people do with them.
Well, yeah, arguing from that standpoint, you would probably have to ban both. And yeah, we already saw that that doesn't work with alcohol. But yeah, my argument would be that it might, at least in some states, work with the guns. Like you have like what, 40% of the states are Democrats, something like that. I don't know, but
Well, I think it's fairly split.
yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not sure. Like, can't really speak to that. But like at least like 50% of the states would follow through, and that would mean less gun deaths. Like.
So that's not necessarily true. Have you heard of the city Chicago?
Yes, I've visited actually.
So Chicago is oftentimes shown as this state that where they made guns illegal, but people still get killed by guns there, right?
Yes.
Are you still in chat?
Yeah.
Okay, I just threw this at you. Go down to page 2 real quick. This is one of the problems in the United States you have with inconsistent laws from state to state. If you scroll down to page 2, you look at point 2 there, you see how it says 60% of guns recovered in crimes in Chicago were first sold in other states. If people can obtain weapons elsewhere in the United States, they'll just get them there and then go and commit crimes elsewhere. Even though Chicago has some fairly tough gun laws, their crime there with firearms is still is pretty high. Like the article says, or this report says unacceptably high, whatever that means. But Yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
this would have to be like a nationwide ban. I don't think that you could just ban it in like some states, because people could just go to another state to get a firearm if they want to be armed to commit a crime or something.
Just as a clarification, you can buy the gun in other states and then legally cross the border?
Oh,
Or
it's
like
probably not legal, but
Oh, okay. But okay.
I mean, if you're bringing it over to commit a crime anyway, then why do you?
Yeah, okay. I guess I see that point, yeah. Okay, arguing from like neither a perspective, not ethical, or if you could actually do it, you yourself said you are pretty, you are somebody that is in favor of the Second Amendment, right?
I don't know, maybe. There's a lot of fucking stupid people, though. It makes me wonder sometimes.
Okay, so you're not entirely sold on that point? Like, you have your doubts.
Not in a perfect world, I don't have my doubts, but I doubt that. I don't even know if democracy in and of itself can exist in the world today. I don't know how I feel about that. If you're asking me, it depends on what stories I've read on that particular day. If you're asking me on a day where I think that people in general are fucking stupid, I'd probably say ban guns, because most people are fucking idiots and can't handle the responsibility of a firearm anyway. But I would also say that we need to get European levels of driver training in the United States as well, because most people that are in motor vehicles don't deserve to be in them. They're horrible drivers. They can't back into a parking spot. They have no awareness of their surroundings. So I mean, I don't know. But now if you ask me on another day where I'm being a perfect model libertarian and I believe in the civil liberties of the people and of myself, then I would say that, yeah, the Second Amendment is a very important part of the United States government. I don't think the government has a right to tell me whether I can or cannot buy a firearm, considering that the amendment in our Constitution, it was so important, it was included in the Bill of Rights, that prevents the government from doing that, right? So I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how I'm feeling on that particular day. Which one do you want to argue against?
No, I don't know. Like you said,
Hold on real fast, just because somebody's saying this in chat. Now, this isn't meant to be a good or bad in your favor. I'm just addressing this in chat. The gun ban has worked for Australia exceptionally well. You said bans never work, so I offered a real-life example of the ban working. That is not true. I used to cite this, but it's actually not true. If we go and we look up gun deaths Australia, and we look at when the gun ban was enacted, you see that it didn't really have that dramatic of an impact, right? Now, you didn't have any more mass shootings, I guess, but these are kind of like one-off events that I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if these one-off events are great ways to measure it. If somebody here was like mastered in stats, I'm pretty sure that you could see, and if you get charts that go back to the early 80s as well, gun death was already trending downwards in Australia. And when you banned firearms in your country, or rather you had the Port Arthur fucking whatever bullshit go through, it didn't really have a dramatic impact that you would expect to see when people cite this so much. So I reject that Australia is a good example of the success of a gun ban, because I think that the homicides remained on the same trajectory that they were going to be on prior to that gun ban. All right.
But they did have an impact, right? Like, even if it's not such a big one, like,
I don't know. It's hard to say. Saved, right? It might have, but I mean, you do pay a cost to be free in a country, right? Somebody might argue that maybe a dozen or so more deaths to firearms a year is worth the trade-off of that freedom.
But is it really for that person to decide who gets to live and who not? Shouldn't that be?
Yeah, that's what we decide that as society. Yeah, we make those trade-offs all the time. For instance, we have the freedom to drive, acknowledging that 30,000 people a year or something in the United States die in automobile accidents, but we still recognize that people should be able to drive, and that's a freedom. We have the ability to eat ourselves into massive levels of obesity. We have the ability to consume alcohol such that we can die doing it. These are all kind of, we suffer under the threat of terrorism because we've decided that we want to be free of government obstruction to some extent. Criminals sometimes go free because of our criminal protection. These are all kind of trade-offs that you make to live in a democracy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my problem is just that I don't see guns as anything else other than a convenience, and I have just problems wrapping my head around this whole idea that they are so essential for everyday life.
Well, they're not. It's not a matter of them being essential for everyday life. It's just that there are a few things in the United States that we take very, 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 very seriously, and guns are like one of those things. They're very fucking important to us. We use them to kill the British people, okay? They had our shit. and we fucked them up, dude. When they came to invade our shit, when people were thinking of coming back, one of those British dudes, he said some shit like, if we were to invade the American homeland, there would be a rifle hidden behind every single blade of grass. That's how, because our guns, dude, they're our lifeblood. Okay?
Okay, if you say so.
Listen, dude, you stay over there. You can lock up, you guys lock up people for shit they did in fucking World War II still, right? We can be over here and have our guns, and we can all do our crazy things, all right? Is that acceptable?
I guess so. As an ending note, kind of, you, and in your recent debates, you often said something along the lines of even Merkel is, going to the right, something like that.
I heard her make a few statements that made me wonder, but yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, like, her party is, the kinda right, like center right. So, like, over the past few years, she had this really strong left drift. Like, she moved to the left on the political spectrum. So, like, the thing that she's now saying is her actual position. Like, that's what her party is actually standing for. But yeah, just as a quick throw in, I guess.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, buddy.
All right, then. Thanks for having me on, and I'm saddened that I couldn't bring my point forth a bit clearer.
Well, no,
but,
it's okay.
yeah.
I understand your point, buddy. I love you. Be careful.
Yeah, you too.
Stay safe. All right, Ripperino, Cappuccino, Pappuccino, my dude.